or what exactly AI is gonna do and how is it gonna change the entire process of designers. Just going to make your execution easier. But at the end of the day, the responsibility, the accountability of all the decisions are yours. You need to know that why this decision was taken. What are the consequences of it? What are the compliance end of it? What is the feasibility end of it? You need to have all the answers of that. As a designer, you need to make sure that the Claude will just give you ideas, but you have to question it critically. You will fall into the problem that most of the designers do, which is not finalizing the right problem, rather making a solution and then finding a problem for that, right? So we need to make sure that whenever we are using Claude or any of the AI tools, your basic designer instinct should not go away. There's one more thing that I'm thinking, that what if we can have like a live streaming session altogether. Like let's say every Sunday we are sitting, we are taking one problem and we are solving it together on Claude or any of other things. We can just keep discussing about each step. So if you want to have like live streaming of that as well, do let me know about that in the comment section. Let's just do that. Now when this particular design is completed, you should be able to go on each component, on each pixel on the screen, and question yourself, why is it over here? What was the user research that I had found? What was the problem statement that I had found? What was the rationale of doing this thing? Because when you're giving the interview or when you're presenting it to the senior stakeholders, you need to have the answer for each of these questions. At that point of time, you cannot say I just did it because AI told me to do this thing. Hi everyone. So welcome back to this entire series of Claude Design. So this is basically the second part. I have already made the first part where I have told you like how I used the Claude Design to make the entire design system from the scratch. And if you want to have a look at it, you can just click on the I button over here, here or here. I'll just see in the editing, so it will appear over there, so you can see the first part of that. In the first part, I'd asked like if you would like to have a UX part of that also, and many people in the comments said that yes, they would definitely want to have a UX part. So I'm back with another part. Today what we are going to do is that I already have a problem statement, and it's not very well defined problem statement, but we just need to make the final UI out of it, or the final screens or the final solutions out of it. So there's a certain process that I always follow. We'll follow that again. And how exactly are we using AI or Claude in the each part of that process is going to be the main part of this entire video. So stay tuned, and let's just start with it. Okay, so let's start with the part one of the video. I'll show you what exactly is the problem statement which was given to me. So this is the problem statement. Qashio is the basically a product which enables companies to issue prepaid corporate cards for various business needs. So basically, whenever anybody in a company wants to go to any of the business meetings, they need to have a virtual transaction card, a travel card, which they will use to make the transactions like hotels, flights, or any other thing when they are on the travel, because company gives them that money. So we need to make an app of how exactly the travel card would work. Case study objective is that design the user flow for creating the prepaid corporate card intended for the travel. Like this is the B2B side, basically when a finance manager or the HR person of a company will be using this particular product. The experience should account for the nature of prepaid cards and reflect how such a card might be used in a travel context. So this is now the B2C part, when you are actually using the card when you are traveling. So this is the thing. What are the deliverables? 2 to 3 high fidelity screens, and no need to submit written documentation, but be prepared to walk us through your design rationale and thought process during the interview. So this is all that I had got. Now we have understood about the problem. Now let's get into the process. Now this is one process that I always and always follow, and I believe like it has passed almost all the tests of mine. So this is basically a double diamond process. It's like design thinking, only it's like just more of a structured way of it. So first of all, it's like the first diamond in which you are diverging on the problem statement, in which you need to research a little bit, understand like who the users are, what exactly the business is all about, and what are the main pain points that people go through on the both sides. So completely diverging on this end, reading as much as possible, looking into the competitors, understanding the business, how the company earns, how the users are using any of the things, what might be the journey of the users, what might be the motivations of the users. So this is the entire divergence on the problem part. Then again, converging on the problem part, this is where you have understood about the things, now you need to define the things. One of the major things that you have to define over here is the problem statement and the how might be's. How might we, if you want to know more, like we can have like a separate video for that. I have actually made one of the videos for that in which I have told like what exactly the product designers do. I'll maybe just put again I button over here or somewhere in the description. I'll put the link so you can have a look at that. And once you have found that these are the major problems that you need to work on, then you diverge on the solution, in which you just get as crazy as possible, think about as many interesting solutions as possible. You do not think about the technical feasibility at this point of time, and then you converge on the solution, in which you finalize some of the solutions based on the effort to impact analysis. And okay, so these are the solutions that you're finally gonna go ahead with, because you feel that the problems that you have defined, these solutions are completely gonna solve that. And this is the iterative process. You might be doing to and fro again and again. So this is the same thing that we are going to do now as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, so now we are at the first part of this entire pyramid, which is we just want to do the exploration of the problem part. Now, before using Claude or any of the AI at this point of time, my complete or my whole suggestion is that do the basic research first on your own. Now, had it been like a full-fledged project, we would have had like an interview process, like talking to the users, doing the primary research, understanding the people, and asking them questions, the personal questions, understanding their pain points. So this is the step that you need to follow at this point of time. So since this was just an assignment, it was not like a full-fledged project. What I did was that I just did some basic research on my own. I talked to some of my friends who actually go to the business trips, and there's also one of my HR friends who is specifically in this particular role of managing the travel cards. I was actually lucky enough to have a conversation with them. So I just did like the basic research. Okay, so what are the major problem statements that they face? So one of the problem statement that the travelers face is that sometimes their card declines mid trip, and they do not have any out of policy spend. So let's say you have this much money but only for hotels, but now you are stuck at some place where you need to spend money. You have to use your own personal card, and then you have to apply for the reimbursement. That takes like months, and your money is stuck at this point of time. And for a person who keeps on going on the business trip, this money just keeps on getting stuck. So this is one of the problem statements that they feel. Also, they also felt that sometimes what exactly the card covers is not shown. For example, you are on a trip and you go to one place, you go to one particular hotel, you say that okay, I want to stay here, but your card doesn't cover that. So what will you do over here? Again, you will have to pay from your card and then wait for the reimbursement. Again, a whole headache process. And sometimes the company also asks them to attach a receipt of that particular transaction, but they do not have the receipt right now, so it gets lost most of the times. So that is also one of the things. And like the HR also had this problem that she has to keep asking for the receipts. The travelers generally don't have the receipt, so they also forget the receipt, and now it becomes like a HR policy issue. You cannot reimburse that money. Sometimes people say that, you know what, just please do it without the reimbursement or without the receipt and all that, but you cannot do that. But then you have like, you need to understand how exactly this entire process is very back end and policy heavy. So this is major problem statement. So this is what I did. I start to also understand about the business, what exactly this company is all about. They have been in the corporate spend management thing, and they have some skyward emirates points also. Like let's say you do any of the transactions, you win these points just like any other card thing. And they are majorly targeting the UA corporates which do the multi-destination business travel. So this is the basic research that I have done on my own. I have not opened Claude till this point of time. Now, what we will do, we'll take this entire research and then put it in the Claude and then see what more can we understand on this particular part. Okay, so I'll not get into the depth of all the other things that I've done in the like the divergence of the problem part, because then the video get would get too long. I'll give you like the quick walkthrough of what all I've done till now. I just discussed the basic research that I've done. I asked it to research further on that, give me more insights. I also tried to role play with the Claude so that I can like maybe have a conversation with the real users, or at least have a act of that. And then based on all of those things, since Claude already knows all of the things, I simply asked it, now I want to get onto the convergence part of the problem. So now give me the problem statements and the how might be based on all of our discussion. So if you would see over here, problem statement has been given. There are multiple problem statements that it has given me, and there are some of the how might be's also that it has given me. Now, what really you as a designer need to take care of at this point of time? You really need to go through all the how might be's and all the problem statements on your own. There are many of the cases when the Claude has not defined all of the how might be's. So go through this, read it, and then try to give it its own like your suggestions on it, and that is how it gets refined. If any of the AI is giving you any of the in outputs and you are accepting the first version of it, there are very high chances that you might get wrong in the later part of the process. Okay, so I have done some further more discussion with Claude where I just asked him like, okay, what do you think about this particular how might we? How can we prioritize more on the receipt capture part? Because while in the pain points part, you remember that we discussed that people keep on losing the receipts. How can you focus more on that? Also, people have a very huge bad time in getting the approvals done. So can we just make that process a more streamlined? Also, how can we get the unexpected spend thing also in control? So how can we work on that also? So I've already asked it that can you work on those things and give me the streamline how might we for these particular things. So now it has given me those three major how might we's. The first one is how might we give the employees a pre-approved safety net for unexpected spend without removing financial control from the finance manager. Now, one of the things with this particular thing is that you would see, and if you are a good designer, you would actually feel that this how might be is kind of taking you towards a solution. And the solution is that you need to give the pre-approved safety net for unexpected spend. Okay, now you're finding the ways to do it. So as a designer, you just need to question, is it really targeting me somewhere? Is it really the right how might we or not? Second one is how might we ensure approval request never get stuck waiting on a single person regardless of time zone or availability. This is still a good how might we, because it is not taking me anywhere entirely. It is not pushing me towards one solution. It is just telling me the problem. Okay, so the problem was that it was waiting on the single person. There were different time zones and availability. So how can we work on that? Right. So as a designer, you need to make sure that the Claude will just give you ideas, but you have to question it critically, because you need to make sure that when you're on the problem side of this entire double diamond, you are not supposed to think about solution at all. Do not think about the screens, do not think about the solutions, don't think about the ideas at this point of time, because if you do that, you will fall into the problem that most of the designers do, which is not finalizing the right problem, rather making a solution and then finding a problem for that. Right, so we need to make sure that whenever we are using Claude or any of the AI tools for the UX process, your basic designer instinct should not go away. Right. Perfect. Now I gave it a prompt that first how might we seems to be taking me towards a solution. Can you make it more problem centric than solution centric? Keep your answer concise. Just give me the how might we. So now it has improved the first how might we. How might we help employees handle unexpected expense mid trip when their corporate card doesn't cover them? Now this is one of the good how might we's because it is not taking you towards any solution. Okay, so now I have gotten into the expansion part of the solutions. Okay, so this is where you need to be as crazy as possible in finding the solutions. And a very important thing over here whenever I do any of the workshops with the people is that please do not think about any of the technical feasibility at this point of time. Think of as crazy solutions as possible as long as they are solving the user's problem, because right now you're diverging on the solution end. Okay, now had it been a real world problem where we had more stakeholders with us, I would have loved to take a complete workshop discussing with the people, booking their time, bringing people from the customer service, marketing, product, tech, all of these people on the same ground, showing them the how might we's and ask them, okay, so what are the solutions that you can think of. Now, with AI, what we can do is that we can frame or make the basic ideas before going into the workshops, so that even before they give you the ideas, you have like the basic ideas ready with you. So what I also do what I also did over here is that I gave it that prompt that think of the most crazy ideas, do not think about any of the technological feasibility, and now it has given me some of the interesting solutions. A peer lending system, what if one of your friends can lend you money from their own card? So this can be one of the ideas. There can be approval not stuck on one person. AI finance manager, okay, so rather than having a physical finance manager, maybe an AI finance manager can be a thing. But again, while we are reading any of the solutions at this point in time, we would be getting a lot of questions in our head. Would it be feasible? Is it even correct? Is it even, let's say, there might be many riskiest assumptions that we are making at this point of time. No problem, just keep the ideas for now, analyze it on your own, and then question AI altogether. Okay, so what do you think about this solution? For example, in this AI finance manager, can we completely trust on the AI finance manager? Is it even correct? Because let's say that they are taking decisions of any of the transaction completion, and that was not actually correct. Now who takes the responsibility of that, right? So taking each solution, questioning them, and then iterating more on that is what we need to do at this point of time. You would have seen that till now I have not made any screen, I have not asked it to make any of the UI. We are completely on the theoretical end at this point of time, diverging on the problem, converging on the problem, diverging on the solution, and then once we'll converge on the solution, after that we'll ask them to make the screens. Okay, perfect. Now, based on all the solutions that it had given me, I tried to just finalize some of the solutions, question it further, and based on that, I just told it, can you also generate some screens now? Now, finally, I am asking it to make the final screens. Okay. And at the same time, include all the necessary UX point here, considering the user personas and all the things that we have discussed till now. And I've also asked it to just look at the Qashio's page. Okay. I've also given it like a basic understanding of what kind of UI do I want, and basic visual feeling. I've not given it like a detailed feeling of the UI and or like the examples of some other things. I just want to see the UX side of the things for now. And maybe this is also the part that you saw in the previous part of the video also, which was design systems part, because this is where that particular video started. Okay, so this is that thing. Before getting into this thing, I just want to also ask you that this format of using Claude to make the designs on the UI side or the UX side, it is actually very interesting. I've already made many of the assignments or many of the personal projects also using this. So, would you like to have more videos on this particular format? Do let me know about that in the comment section. I would love to make more videos on it. There's one more thing that I'm thinking, that what if we can have like a live session, live streaming session altogether. Like let's say every Sunday we are sitting, we are taking one problem and we are solving it together on Claude or any of other things. We can just keep discussing about each step, what can we do on that thing. So if you want to have like live streaming of that as well, do let me know about that in the comment section. Let's just do that. Okay, so it has made like the initial few screens of it. One good thing is that it has given me like the HTML side of it, and this is the first version of design it has made. Okay, it is completely a dark theme. Let's see, this is like the B2B side. What it has done is it has given me like the sign, the employee. Okay, if you want you can change. Then is trip details, okay, where you are going, travel dates, spend control. Okay, this is all there, and it has also given all the rationals why it took that particular decision. For the mobile screens also it has done the things. Okay, the rationals are there. Okay, cool, that is all. Now, based on this, I guess I had some of the feedbacks. Can you make the lighter version? Now, I went through each screen and I actually told it explicitly, like, okay, so in screen 3, transaction notification on the tab which says earned Emirates, can you add the Emirates Skyward logo also? Okay, because like if you see over here, there was no Skyward logo which was used, which actually could have been very good. Yeah, on this one, if you see here, if there could be a logo also, it would be good. And similarly, I had some doubts also for each travel. Is a new card issued, or how, what exactly happens? So I wanted to know more about that. But yeah, you would see that I have questioned each part of the screen at this point of time, and this is the same thing that you also need to do. You already know the problems, you know what you have discussed till now, but just accepting whatever the screen that the AI has made isn't going to help you. You have to question each component of it. Okay, now it has given me the answers, and there have been some font changes and all of those things also, and based on that it made the first screens, which was a light version of it, and it has given me those screens. Okay, again, all the rationals are there, why it did anything, and okay, so these are the screens which are already made. Cool. But the things do not end here. I still kept on asking it, okay, so can we improve this thing also? Or okay, if there is emergency generic fund in the app side, on the desktop side as well, we might need that. So now this was one thing that AI did not do. It gave one of the features on the like the user side, like the traveler side, but it did not give the complementary thing on the desktop side. Because let's say the emergency fund is there on the user side, but how do you sanction that on the desktop side? It did not give that. So I asked it explicitly to add that also. Okay, so since like the first version of design have already been made, and now we just need to do as many iterations as possible. Now this is like more of a longer process because it took me a lot of time. Like I literally was sleeping upon these designs. I was thinking more. Okay, I was questioning each component, and I kept on thinking. Okay, so now this is just a very quick walkthrough of what all was a conversation between me and Claude. I'll not get into the details of those things, but I just want to show you on what basis I was asking the questions. So I asked like, do you think we should also have a bottom nav or not? Don't design anything, just tell me what is your rationale. I read the rationale and then I said, okay, based on this, just make the bottom nav. Is it like the perfect bottom nav? No. So I just said like, okay, can you please further improve it? And then for the desktop design, I again had some of the questions. For example, what are the other competitors doing in this particular thing? It gave me like the detailed answer. Okay, so these are the competitors and this is one particular thing that they are doing over here. And what else do we have? Okay, I also asked it, now do one thing, let's define the design system. Okay, so this was a design system, but just leave it. I've already covered it in the first part of the video. If you want to have a look at it, again, you can go back over there. One more thing, if a traveler needs to go back to multiple countries in the single tour, what happens? Single country, multi currency, multiple cards per country. Again, what the competitors are doing, it gave me like a detailed walkthrough of that thing. I asked it, like, okay, how what exactly the competitors are doing and what is the compliance angle also, because when you're working in the fintech, compliance also is a very important thing. So it gave me like the compliance angle of that also. Now as for you as a designer, it's very important to know all the angles of these decisions, and now it is your responsibility to ask this thing. Maybe Claude wouldn't have told me about the compliance angle if I would not have asked it explicitly about it. Okay, so now here I asked it explicitly, can you also help me with the vibe coding? Because till now I had only used Lovable for this thing, but what if I can make the final prototype with it also? So I asked it, okay, so what all do you need from my side, just tell me. Now this is where you would see on each section I gave it, okay, so this is how the empty state would look like. This is the interaction. Over here destination field should look like this, interaction should be this should be the interaction. And I defined it to the granular level, what exactly do I need, what actions do I need, what is the hover state, what are the clickable options do I need. And let's say after all the three destinations I filled, two summary blocks appear below the destination row. Okay, also the card type, section 3 spend control, guided. Okay, so what all type of sections headers do I want? I have already mentioned that thing. Cool. Now based on this, it actually made me a prototype on which I had many doubts. So I again took the screenshots of each thing which I had a doubt on. Okay, and on each screenshot you would see I have given it like a detailed prompt. On each image I have these issues, can you fix these image by image or point by point? It again did that, and based on like again I had many of the doubts. Okay, that this thing is not fixed, this particular thing is not fixed. Again, do the iteration of that. Now you see this entire process of going to and fro, looking at the results of it. It is like UAT was the user acceptance test that designers used to do when the developers used to make any of the things. Now, this is something that you are doing on your own. The Claude is making something, and now you're questioning each part. Why you have done this? Fix this. Now, after the rigorous to and fro UATs and all of the things, I am now going to show the final prototype that I have made, and you can see it over here now. So, whenever you are issuing a travel card to any of the person, what you're gonna do, you are over here, you will choose the employee, you can choose any of the employees over here, and now you have to choose the destination for which you have to issue the card. So you have different options over here. Let's say I go with Indonesia, and if I, let's say, have to add another destination, so I'll add Singapore, and then I have to add the dates, And okay, so this was one of the fix which I had done in the initial part. Before this, the end date, even the before dates were available. Okay, now this was a funny part, but now you can see like the before date before this starting part are disabled now. Okay, so 26, then I would choose the virtual card label is this good. If I have to choose the trip budget, this one is good. If I have to add also the shopping entertainment, I can do that. And I want to add some emergency fund, because the problem actually was that, let's say I have to spend some of the money which is, let's say, not approved by the card, and now I have to ask for the reimbursement. So rather than asking for that, you can simply just enable some of the emergency pocket fund. You simply can ask for the approval of it, and then you can simply click the photo from your phone and add the receipt. Even the problem statement that we had, that you might lose the receipts, that is also solved. One of the how might be is solved over here, and another one is solved also over here. Okay, so this is the thing. And finally, you can also use the AI suggested policy over here. Once it is done, the card is issued. The entire prototype is made with Claude based on all the discussions that we have had, or based on all the to and fro things that we have had. And I've made sure that all the how might be's that we mentioned in the start, most of them are covered over here. Obviously, solutions were changed. Obviously, how might be's were tweaked. Obviously, we went back, we went to and fro, and all of those things happened. But finally, now the solution that we have made, your thing as a designer is that now when this particular design is completed, you should be able to go on each component, on each pixel on the screen, and question yourself, why is it over here? What was the user research that I had found? What was the problem statement that I had found? What was the rationale of doing this thing? Let's say over here, meals have been given as an option. Okay, so these are the things which are added as a meal. But I asked this thing from the Claude, that is it possible, because can I know which all hotels are included in this particular card? So it told me that there is a compliance issue over here, that the MCC codes are with Visa. If they are okay to share it with us, then only we can show the data over here, otherwise we cannot. Now, how would you have an answer of this when you had questioned each pixel on the screen that is made? So this is your job as a designer, that even if AI has made any of the designs for you, you need to question each pixel and then ask Claude itself, okay, so what do you think about this case? What is the compliance feasibility thing for it? What is the technological feasibility of this thing? Because when you are giving the interview or when you are presenting it to the senior stakeholders, you need to have the answer for each of these questions. At that point of time, you cannot say I just did it because AI told me to do this thing, but you were the one who was using the AI. Because this takes us to the main thing of this entire debate, of what exactly AI is gonna do and how is it gonna change the entire process of designers. It is just going to make your things easier, it is just going to make your execution easier, but at the end of the day, the responsibility, the accountability of all the decisions are yours. You need to know that why this decision was taken, what are the consequences of it, what are the compliance end of it, what is the feasibility end of it. You need to have all the answers of that. Perfect. So this was all what this video was about. This was the entire UX walkthrough of how I used Claude to design the travel card process. This was obviously like just one part, and there's already like the first part of it, which is the design systems part. It is already out. You can have a look at that. And as I mentioned in the past also, that I'm thinking of making more such videos on how I use Claude and what exactly is my design process. Where do I do the checks and balances, and how exactly the design process is incorporated with it, how exactly your critical thinking is done with it. So do let me know if you want to have more such videos. I would definitely love to make more such videos. And like the better part of it is to do the live. Do let me know if you want to have a live streaming sessions of this as well. We can definitely have the live streaming sessions on the bi-weekly level or the monthly level. If you are really interested, do let me know about that. I can also like post it on LinkedIn. But my request is just that please be available in that live. Like just suggest the time in which you think that you would be available for the live. We will do it only then. Okay, because I would love that. Let's just get on the live, we'll take the problem statement, we'll solve it together, we'll have different outputs, inputs from different people, and we can obviously learn from each other while doing that thing. So let's just do it. Let me know if you're interested. And about this channel, there are more videos on this channel already. There are some shorts also that I am posting. This is like one series of the videos in which I am showing you the process of designing. There are some more videos in which I have given my commentary on the design altogether, like the while I'm traveling I see some of the designs, the real world physical world design, how exactly something is made, why exactly something is designed. All of these things have already been shown in by the shorts also, so you can have a look at the shorts as well. And at the same time you would see that there are longer form videos of the designer career also, so those are also over there. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying that every week there are 3 shorts which are coming in, and almost every month there is one long form video coming in. So subscribe to the channel and have a look at other videos also. Do let me know what you think about those videos. And that is all about this video. um, until next video, bye bye.